Hey, what's up guys? Do you want to know what to buy from Cybernetic Horizon without breaking the bank? Stick around. Alright, like I was going to say guys, obviously you don't want to buy the Danger archetype because it's overly expensive. Oh, shut up, Frank. He'll be doing that all night. Like I was saying, you don't want to buy anything. You definitely don't want to buy Frank's archetype because, you know, it's going to make your wallet go. And who wants that, right? In any case, I'm going to be giving you guys 10 options. Some of these will be entire archetypes for existing, and some of these will just be a single card that will maybe assist a different deck, but I'm going to give you 10 options to on what you can buy on a budget without breaking the bank. So, without further ado, let's begin. First things first, we're going to go over the number 10 slot, the Devi Rituals Support. This stuff actually is some of the cheapest stuff that's actually on this list, and some of the stuff that if you're a ritual lover, you probably want to pick this up. Just to be frank, this stuff is going to cost you around $20 to pick up all of it. Now, the most important stuff you have to realize is the ritual monsters themselves will not cost a lot, but the Candle and the Talismandra, if I pronounce those correctly, those two are going to cost you a little bit. They are about $2 a piece on the high end. So basically, when you pick these two guys up, you are going to have to pick up a playset, and that's going to be the bulk of it, and it was $6. Number 9 is the Dragunity Support. Yeah. Again, this is another cheap option out there for you guys if you already have your Dragunity cards. This is going to cost you about $8 to get all of it, assuming that you only want one Ascalon, as Ascalon does cost a little bit more than the rest, about $3 by himself. But the rest of it is fairly cheap. He is the only Ultra among them. The rest are all Supers, Rares, and Commons. So you should be able to get all the Dragunity stuff. If you already have a Dragunity deck, this is a great pickup for you out of Cybernetic Horizon. And if you don't have the Dragunity stuff, you might want to skip over this one. But if you already have Dragunity stuff, this is a great pickup for you. Number 8 is the Umbra Mirage. If I pronounce Umbra Mirage, I probably butchered that name. The Elemental Lord. This guy is the Dark Elemental Lord. When this guy hits the board, he can summon 1,500 attack or less monsters. He only costs $1, so if you're looking to complete your Elemental Saber deck, your Phantom Knight deck, or your Shaddoll deck, this is a great pickup for you. This guy only is going to cost you about $1, so you can maybe at most will have to spend like $3, depending on what kind of deck you're looking to build. But he's an instant +1 when he hits the board, assuming you have filled the grave with dark monsters, probably via a milling effect. Alright. Number 7 is Reprodocus. Or, I probably pronounced that name horribly wrong, but this guy basically is going to facilitate you abusing certain cards, as its effect allows you to change the type and attribute to the monsters it points to any monster and attribute you need it to be, thus allowing you to make Naturia Beast easier, make things like Noble Knight is old, or use machine duplication on a monster that isn't inherently a machine, and this card will only cost you 50 cents as it's a rare. So basically $1.50, and voila, you've got it all. You got everything you need to pick up you got a playset of this guy. Uber cheap. Number 6 is going to be the World Legacy World Crown. This card is mostly going to be used for link climbing. Now, the cool thing about this monster is it's level 6, it's a machine, so it actually has a little bit more utility than just that. But, for the most part, you're going to use this to link climb. You'll make a link 2, you'll summon this for free, make a link 3, etc. And it's only going to cost you $1 to get one copy. So, I say that's a deal.
Link Climb, level 6. I mean, I could do all sorts of craziness with that. Is the Crusadia archetype. Now, this archetype's a little bit weird, but it's not too crazy. It's not too expensive. It's a little bit on the higher end here. It's the 25 for the whole thing, assuming you only want one Equimax, which is the big boss monster of the entire deck. He is going to cost you a little bit more, as he's like $7 to $8, I think, by himself. So if you want to get more, you could spend about as much for a structure deck to get this entire deck. But that's not a bad deal, especially if you already have a lot of staples that, you know, in your possession. You know, you have your hand traps, you have your, you know, your twin twisters, etc. You know, whatever kind of cards you view as a staple, you should already have. And you can just take your staples, buy this, and then voila. You basically have a brand new deck that has a very high ceiling as far as damage, and a lot of different ways it can defend itself. Number 4 is the Solitaire Sword of Poison. This bad boy is going to be used for one particular deck, the Chaos Max Dragon deck, as this will facilitate an OTK. Basically, what happens with the Solitaire Sword, you can only control one monster on the board, and if you do, you activate this. When the monster attacks it, it gains double its attack points. Chaos Max attacks into a defense monster, doubling its new 8,000 attack points, and doing double piercing damage, which means game over. Also, guys, if you're looking to pick up a little something for your Chaos Max Dragons, I want to suggest an earlier recommendation, which would be the Devi Rituals. So if you pick up the sword, you pick up the previously known as Devi Ritual cards, you will be basically spending about $8, but that's $8 to improve your deck and bring it up to snuff. Consistency and raw power? Sign me up. Number 3, guys, is Cosmo Brain. This card is going to be for the one another, then the Dark Magician deck. This card is very cheap. It's only going to cost you about 25 cents for one copy of Cosmo Brain. So basically 75 cents, and your Dark Magician deck is up to snuff, ready to throw out those rank 7s and watch your opponent sweat. I think this is a great card for anyone who's looking to pick up anything for the Dark Magician and make your opponent, you know, go, oh no, here comes rank 7s again. Basically, you can abuse that with this. Number 2 is the White Stingray. This card gives you your Atlantean Mermail deck the distinct advantage of being able to do synchro plays. It's also level 4, which may open up to that shark that'll let you summon the Totally Awesome, which, you know, for $1.50, let's face it, guys, who doesn't want to have access to some of the most powerful synchro water monsters in the game, and, you know, maybe a Totally Awesome, because hashtag negate, am I right? Honorable mentions go to Ballista Squad, Cupid, and Universal Adapter. Ballista is basically going to help any deck that tributes, so basically causing you to destroy an opponent's monster, and you will gain something for tributing in probably the Virus Structure deck and the Hieratic deck. Cupid basically is going to allow you to mill 3 cards, and is a level 1 that can be summoned off of 1-for-1, which might be useful for Lightsworns. And Universal Adapter is kind of this trolly little card. I'm thinking somebody can find a way to abuse it with Scapegoat, because it basically makes all monsters on the field equal to a monster that you pick. So basically, you pick one of your opponent's monsters, and all the monsters are now equal the same attack as that monster. Seems pretty interesting. Could be pretty dangerous. I don't know, depending on situation. Somebody will find a way to break that. Number 1 goes to Hip His Shinnigan and Wee Witch Apprentice. With these 2 cards, you will now have access to the Link mechanic for various dark and light decks who don't have a Link monster of their own that they can abuse. I personally will be picking up these cards for myself. These cards don't really cost a whole lot, as they're only super rares, but you basically, at the low end, you can pick them up for 1. At the high end, you will pick them up for 2, and that's not a bad deal. So, Personally, I'm probably going to lean towards Hip Hishinnigan, because let's face it, guys, I am a Lightsworn player for life. But, yeah. Alright, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the... excuse me. If you did, make sure you check out some of my other content on this channel and my other channel, the Unbound series channel. Also, guys, make sure that you like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel and maybe my other one if you're feeling real friendly. And, yeah! I'm Ben 10,000 Wajo, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero. I'm exhausted, so I'm going to go kick out a Sasquatch and go to bed. Peace, guys.